Coming to you live from the Business RadioX studio, it's Franchise Marketing Radio. Elevate your franchise with Franchise Now. We tell your brand story on our radio podcast and boost it with powerful content marketing strategies. From blogs and videos to infographics and more, we enhance your brand's SEO and online visibility. Let Franchise Now help your franchise stand out in a crowded market. Visit us today and learn more to start your journey for greater visibility and success. And now, here's your host.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Franchise Marketing Radio. I'm your host, Rob Ganley, and we're the podcast where we dive into the latest trends, strategies, and success stories in the world of franchising. And today is no different. I have with me Tiffany Hamlin. She's the Vice President of Fitness Operations and Strategic Development at the iconic brand World Gym. Tiffany has been instrumental in steering World Gym back to its core strength training roots, embracing cutting-edge technology to enhance athletic performance and profitability. We're excited to learn from her experience and insights on the future of the fitness industry. Tiffany, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for having me, Rob. I'm happy to be here.
Cool. Yeah, me too. I told you earlier, I like the World Gym is kind of cool. Like if you're into fitness and you're into sports, it's got some iconic history. And I might ask you to just let the viewers know because it goes back a little. And so I feel like I'm getting older and I'm like, I don't know. Do you realize Arnold Schwarzenegger was a bodybuilder before he did other things? You know, a lot of people are like, don't has a history with you guys. So I'd love to kind of like give the foundation of the brand. But if you could maybe just give us a little understanding of how you got to be where you are with the brand and just a little overview of the brand itself.
Yeah, of course. So for those who don't know, World Gym, like you said, is an iconic gym franchise. It was founded in 1976 during the golden age of bodybuilding. And it really did build its reputation on serious strength training, which was, made evident by the dedicated and iconic bodybuilders who trained at World Gym. You already mentioned the number one guy, Arnold Schwarzenegger. So that's the legacy of World Gym. And I came to the brand in 2020 as the National Director of Group Fitness. And then I've also been in a Senior Director role of Fitness and Technology. And then in my newest and most current role of VP of Fitness Operations and Strategic Development. So that's a little bit about, our history and also how I was introduced to the brand.
Yeah. Well, tell me a little bit about what it, sort of inspired. Like we're going to talk a little bit today about technology and fitness and franchising and how all those three fit together. But what inspired this shift and where you're focused now?
Yeah, that's a great question. And first, thanks for recognizing, World Gym's shift back to our core, to our strength training roots. We really have put a lot of careful thought in the past several years into the brand, which is reflected in our announcing our two new gym models a few years back, our signature model and our legacy model. So in both of these models, you can see that it's clear that strength is the name of our game. We have an extended strength floor. We have a ton of squat racks. We have the plate-loaded machines. We have pin-loaded machines, and we offer variations for the same muscle group in different machines so that you can work in different ways. We have higher weight stacks. Our dumbbells go up to 175. So just in the gym models that we created, you can really see our dedication to strength training. And I think that decision to refocus World Gym to its core strength training roots was inspired by, first, a deep respect for the brand's legacy, and also a recognition that this positions us quite uniquely in the fitness industry. So, over the years, fitness has evolved. Fitness is always evolving. And we've definitely seen like an excess of trends. And I think the feeling is, you always want to stay on trend. You always want to stay up to date with the industry, but sometimes that can overshadow your brand's original mission. So at World Gym, we felt that it was critical to, hey, let's reconnect with what makes World Gym special, reconnect to our birthplace in Southern California, 1976, that bodybuilding mecca, right? So our emphasis on strength training for a place for people to get serious results, quality equipment, kind of this no nonsense approach to fitness. So essentially, we tried to tune back into that founder mindset, that founder mentality, and make sure that we're staying true to our roots. So that's kind of how we try to differentiate ourselves. It really has kind of reinvigorated our brand's identity. We've attracted a new generation of strength enthusiasts, but we're also staying true to our original fans and our original loyalists from back in the day. So
yeah, well, like I just think of the like the t-shirts and the ripped t-shirts, by the way. I never knew, always worn World Gym t-shirts. Like it's just the guys that have been working out for a long time seem to wear them, right? Like I just had that feeling when I was a kid. I'm just going way back. But no, and you said a few things that were interesting. So I want to first, I had a question about results and technology and how you're using technology to help people see the results they're trying to get to. But I wanted to go backwards a little bit. Like, do you feel like the younger generation is sort of that no nonsense mentality? Like they buy into that sort of old school type of thing? Because it's a gut feel of mine. But is that part of it? Do you think the younger people are like, man, I just want no nonsense. I want results. I want to know I can get results. Is some of that, or is it just a general, am I right about that? I'm only basing it on my own personal interactions with younger people.
absolutely. I mean, today's consumer, especially in the fitness industry, they are so educated. I mean, they know what they're doing. Like they've done their research in advance. Like they came in, they want that kind of no nonsense. I'm here to do my strength training. Like I've researched this. I have influencers that I follow, and they are coming into the gyms with so much more education. So I think that you're right. Your pulse is correct on that one. So it is definitely more of that no nonsense. Like I'm here to lift heavy things and put them down. I think the younger generation really is leaning into that a lot. So that really positions us, quite well, because that's what we've been doing since our first day. So yeah, I definitely see that.
I think you have some help because like the influencers, like I'm basing some of this off my son. He's in college. He's an athlete, very serious about what he does. He's a runner, and very serious about what he does. And like you said, his level of education about it is very high. The influencers, many of them are not younger guys. They're maybe in their 40s, 50s, sometimes are younger too, but some of them are just old school. They think different. So I feel like the young, educated, athletic guys are really listening to the older guys, and they're like kind of connecting on this thing that you guys are about. And that's about, hey, no pain, no gain, right? It takes work if you want to get to those goals, and like just show me the path, right? And they think they know the path now, and they just want the tools and resources to get there. And sounds like, so tell me about the technology. Tell me, how are you using technology to kind of meet this need and show these really serious athletes and anyone else that's taking it seriously, like, show them how they're getting progress?
Yeah, I mean, we use technology for a lot of things at World Gym. So in terms of performance, we absolutely use it there. We use it in our operations to run our gym. We use it in enhancing the overall member experience. So we really kind of leverage technology all throughout our business. One way, obviously, is through using AI-driven analytics, right? Those play a key role in understanding, the members' behavior, their preferences. We can tell from their completed workouts what kind of fitness programs that they're interested in, what kind of monthly challenges that we should be holding that speak to their preferences, that speak to their interests. And it also helps us like predict trends, right? Once we're seeing like, oh, wow, everyone's doing a strength workout in the gym. Obviously, strength is cool again. Strength training and going to the gym is really resonating with members of this certain age demographic. So we definitely use AI to help learn more about our members' behavior. In terms of like enhancing performance, though, that's where we really have kind of done a little bit more outside of the box thinking and using our technology. So one of the things that's really important to World Gym We really like to help people like really see and feel a difference. So we've integrated technology to really kind of break down how people are exercising, how they're moving, all the way through the movement to make sure that they're being the most effective, making sure they're being the most efficient, making sure that we have that injury prevention worked in there. So there are some really cool technologies out there that can help us achieve that by helping us, see analytically through cameras and everything else, how is somebody moving, and give us more data based on that. We've been using heart rate for a really long time in the gym, but the things that we're taking to the next level include like power output. How can we analyze that? Overall movement quality, movement patterns, helping people, making sure that they have all of that fine-tuned so that they can, give their maximum performance, and make sure that they're staying away from injury as well.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm just thinking about what you're getting. So let's just talk about your differentiation and maybe bring it up a little higher. I just want to be clear because obviously World Gym could apply to anyone who wants to get in shape. But I mean, what would you say your positioning is against other brands that are in the fitness space? What would be, I think we're hitting on it all, but what would you say is your differentiator? Is it the way you appeal to the more serious athlete, or is it other things? How would you position that?
Yeah, I mean, you obviously can't be all things to all people, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you're for everyone, then you don't like really resonate with anyone. So I think that our biggest differentiator is we're a strength training gym. We are that, serious fitness place. Our brand promise is this is the place where we want people to come and get results. That's what we want. So we want to do what we do, which is the strength training. And we want to do it exceptionally well, like on a microscopic level. So that's how we've integrated technologies to stand out, like in this competitive industry landscape. So we make sure that like when we're choosing certain pieces of technology to help us achieve that goal, that they align with our brand, our values, what we're trying to do, right? So we're a results-based strength training gym. So pieces of technology that will help people get results, help people with their strength training initiatives. That's what, that's kind of what we offer.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's, yeah, I'm just thinking of, okay, I'm going to give you an example. You tell me if there's maybe we could talk about it further, but I'm thinking for athletes to do well. So I'm thinking of this analogy. It's when you give a presentation and you're teaching someone. Yeah, you hear the analogy or you hear the saying, tell them what you're going to teach them, and then tell them what you taught them, right? And it's this reinforcement idea. And I'm thinking about when you say you focus on technology and results, there's this idea that, all right, I have a goal. I'm not measuring the goal. I'm not seeing the results of the goal. And it, to me, like you're hitting people from different modalities. Like, I mean, I go way back to training when I was a kid and there was just none of that. You had to just want to track things and look at your results and look in the mirror and give that inspiration. But I got to believe that technology is inspiring in a lot of ways. Being able to show people where they're at, where they're going, what they've achieved. Is that part of it? I mean, have you guys like thought through the psychological side of things too? And is that kind of part of what you're thinking? Or am I way off?
Yeah.
I could be.
No, yeah. It absolutely is all connected. Like, yes, technology can be inspiring, but in some instances, sometimes technology is not so inspiring. So I'll let you know what I mean by that. So sometimes, I'll be working with a client, right? And truth be told, like their movement quality isn't very good, right? Maybe they're not used to exercising. They've never been in sports. So that client that I'm working with or that member that I'm working with and working with me, we're going to start with the foundations. We're going to start with the basics. I need you to move well. I'm going to have you do a squat. We need to make sure that your knees aren't buckling and that your back's not arched, that your chest is up, right? So for clients like that who are like, okay, put me on a scale every week and let me see that I'm, losing weight and let's do my body composition analyze every month. And I want to see that I'm like losing weight and gaining muscle. for clients who like you're really doing this foundation training with, like first you have to move well, and then we will be able to get you your results in a way that, you'll achieve higher levels of performance if we do this foundation work. You will reduce your risk of injury and you'll be more efficient. So for some of those clients, they're on the body composition scanner, which is another piece of great technology. But if they're not seeing change like right away, they can get discouraged, right? So that's why you need to have technology that also can break that movement quality down in that case for that specific client. Like, okay, I understand the number on the scale might not be where you want it immediately. I understand that the body composition scanner also might not be giving you like a huge, massive results, but I want to see how much better you're moving. I want you to see, that your right and your left side are both, the knees are the same angle on both sides now. Your weight distribution is where we want it. Your chest is up. We can now put heavier weight on your bar on your back because your core is strong. It can hold weight. So in some ways, the technology can be really inspiring, but in some ways, right, sometimes maybe it's not. So you do have to have, that technology that can kind of keep people engaged. They want to see their progress, even if the progress doesn't look the same for everybody.
And you're educating people on really the linchpins in this. Like, it's like, if you don't, and some of the best athletes in the world, they have the best information in the world, right? The best trainers like you, but you don't know, like, all right, yeah, it's about my motion. I learned a lot from my son being in college athletics and just the level of detail he has to focus on, right? And it is about form. It is about stretching. It is about all these other things. Because if you don't, then building up and scaling up to what you're trying to get to can be impossible. So that's pretty, and that just shows that you guys are trying to take people step by step, right? And there's tech for each phase. So you mentioned AI. Let me ask you this real quick. What the AI, was it more on the back end, crunching numbers, giving a result? Or is it AI where people are interacting a little bit? And just your thoughts in general on, because AI is such a fast moving technology, where do you see some of that developing? And is there this idea of wearable technology or an assistant that might actually talk to people and help them with their fitness plans? Like, what do you have any ideas where you see some of that going?
It's all of it. It's being integrated into every layer and every level. So yes, AI is helping us, with our data-driven decision making. It's providing us with incredible analytics, valuable insights on member behavior and facility usage, right? So we can even operate our facilities more efficiently, save on energy costs. Like, it provides us just with so much information. Then you also ask, like, are the members interacting with this? Yes, it also has to be layered into your CRM and all of your marketing tactics and strategy as well. So, this could look as simple as, hey, we saw that you just completed a strength training workout in the gym. Could we offer you a $5 coupon for Barbell Cafe? And you can go get your protein smoothie and help you recover from this workout. So we really are layering.
I got to stop you right there. That is super cool. Like, if you can do that, that's a marketing problem we haven't been able to solve for 25 years. We're getting there with marketing automation and AI now, but that level of personalization and timing, right? Like, you really know me and you care. Like, to me, it's small, but that would really get me. Like, if you guys were interacting with me and that was my gym and you were like on top of these details. Yeah. Really cool. Yeah. So you're doing that. You have that integrated into your CRM. So you really get to know your customers, your members really well. And with this great technology, we can start to really pay attention to what this person is going through, their path, right? And I think that's amazing. So I can see where that would add engagement, add all the metrics that you're focused on, which is people keep coming back, they get results, they feel good, they feel connected. And I do think community and what you guys do is super important. Like, our world needs more connection and more places to be parts of things. And I think sure, you could run into a gym and just get a quick workout. And I know that was a thing, probably still is for some members, but I do think it also is about feeling connected to a group of people, right? That are like-minded. So, I mean, the idea that you stay engaged with people is quite important. I guess technology is one of the ways we can do that, right? Saves us the extra time it would take to get to know people.
Absolutely. We are currently exploring ways to leverage our technology to connect with our members because we have members all around the world. We have 245 locations. We're in 10 countries, 12 US states. Like, do all of our World Gym members in Australia know that they are a part of this massive World Gym family with members in Brazil and Germany and Canada and Mexico and Egypt, and the list goes on and on. So absolutely, global community building is another way that we can leverage technology, something that we're actively looking into because community at World Gym is like very important to us.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys definitely are that kind of brand that people get crazy about. Like you definitely can build on that is what I'm saying. I know that there's always work to be done in marketing, but, well, cool. So tell me a little bit, was there any challenges with some of this stuff? Like anything you overcame that was specific and you learned from it, with this, kind of going back to the core, adding technology, anything with this AI tech that was particularly challenging?
Yes. With new technologies and everything that's coming out, like, yes, there have been some challenges. I think that one of the biggest piece is you want to make sure, like we mentioned earlier, that your technological advancements enhance your product offering rather than like kind of derailing you or getting you away from your core values. So I think making sure that, there's so much coming out all the time. You really kind of have to filter through what makes sense for your business and maybe the things that don't. So that's definitely, something to keep in mind. I also think that, with technology, there is a learning curve associated. So in terms of like getting everyone in the World Gym Network to adopt like a new piece of technology or a virtual platform, there's definitely additional training that you have to implement. So we have franchise business coaches. They offer workshops and tutorials. We have our World Gym University, which is our learning management system where we host webinars. So it's really important to make sure that the training is there to help ease the transition and encourage adoption. I think another challenge for us is obviously integrating all of this new tech into your existing systems, right? So like that could be a challenge. So sometimes the new technology that comes out, like especially the people who launch something and they're the first ones in the industry to launch it, they kind of want you to be a part of their entire ecosystem, right? Use our equipment, use our CRM, use our app, right? And then you get all the fun, cool toys. Well, that might not make sense for your specific business. So sometimes it even includes just waiting, even though you want to be that first adopter and jump on something right away. Sometimes it involves like waiting for the right partner for the right solution for you. And then I think the last thing that you have to really keep in mind is that this can kind of get expensive sometimes. Like sometimes technology requires a significant investment, especially if it's something that you're outfitting for your entire, location and doing it across the network. So just make sure that you're balancing the cost with the return on the investment of that. I love a good pilot program. So, selecting locations to test something out and gauge that impact before scaling it across the entire network is something that we've done that's been really helpful. So yes, it can be a little hard to navigate, but I would say make sure that you have a plan. Make sure that you have effective training. And then you'll really be able to future-proof your business like World Gyms.
Or what we could say is you could franchise. Like when I think about what your team does and what you do, like it's a lucky thing, right? It's not easy. It's hard enough to run the gym, right? Your local gym. And, to be able to keep up with the pace of innovation and be creative and thoughtful about timing. And like you said, it's not just about, hey, that would be cool to offer to a customer or a member. It's about the whole staff understanding and all of that. So it's just the rollout of, even if it's smooth and gets set up great. It's like you said, a good pilot. You're right. Yeah. And you pilot things, you test them, you refine them. But that takes time and effort. And that's the great thing about franchising, right? Is that you have that ability to do that, to keep the business model where it needs to be. So I was a little bit of a loaded question. I'm like, if she says no challenges at all, I'm like, oh, wow, that's pretty good. Maybe you guys can help us, because we definitely need some help with our stuff here and there. But yeah, no, it is, right? It's an ongoing challenge to stay ahead of the curve. And I think fitness is, I don't know, maybe at the top. I mean, like, other than technology for technology's sake, I think of, well, maybe fintech is big, right? Finance, technology, but really healthcare and health, right? Fitness is going to be huge. All this new stuff coming down the road. So more now than ever, doing what you just described is going to be more challenging and need to be done right. So kudos for what you're working on. But in terms of all that cool stuff, what you have anything planned for the future that's kind of getting you excited with the brand? Anything coming down, even if it's outside of your fitness in general? Anything that you're seeing that you're kind of excited about or think will start to happen?
Yeah, I mean, within the next, 5 years, I definitely see more hyper personalization of workouts and training plans through AI and through data analytics. So I think that that's just going to continue to evolve and be even more of a key differentiator for people. And that will even expand to like nutrition advice based on someone's, not only their goals and their preferences, but their physiological data, right? So I think that that's just going to continue to grow. I also see, we're going to continue to expand like our virtual offerings, the virtual workouts that we have in our app, the ability to do personal trainings, virtual personal training, like especially for members who might be going on vacation for 2 weeks. The personal trainers can just drop like 3 body weight workouts for them in their app so that they can stay consistent with their training while they're gone. They're not losing all the progress that they've worked so hard for. And then we're still engaging with them, even though they're not within our 4 walls. I see us continuing to utilize that. You mentioned wearables early. So yes, wearables technology, biometric tracking. I also see a move towards more of a holistic wellness integration. So it's not only about strength training, it's not only about fitness, but it's also about mental wellness and mindfulness, because it really is like the whole package, the whole person that we're trying to elevate and help get stronger and even help with the mental resiliency as well. So I see that continuing to grow. I would love to see, this is just the Tiffany thing.
Oh yeah, I love that. Yeah.
Like robotics kind of worked into the gym. Like I haven't seen any of that. I would love to have like a cleaning robot just constantly cleaning the gyms, or like a re-racking robot, putting all of the heavy dumbbells away, putting all the plates back. I would love to see that. Like the first gym to roll that out, like I'm going to be a member the next.
I think you're going to do it, Tiffany. I think here's my advice. I am one of those, get on YouTube and watch a lot of stuff about AI. I will say robotics is interesting. It's definitely progressing. And I would say that we're probably within a year, 2 years of companies being able to deploy robots in ways. And I think you just nailed one that actually would be kind of cool. Like, I don't think some of them are a little iffy. I'm wondering, like, we got to get used to it, right? Like they're talking about there's going to be robots around, like, 20, 30 years from now, there'll be, almost as many robots walking around, right? I hope not. We're not quite ready for that. But what you described is like, that cool with me. That would be cool, because it would be like the place is always clean. It's always straight. You know what I mean? Like that. What do you call it? Like have a personality that goes with the World Gym, like it would be kind of, I think you should think about that. And then we can interview again and you could tell me how you launch that. But I wouldn't be surprised if you could maybe do something like that in 2 to 3 years, like literally, like affordably, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Crazy. Very cool idea. All right. Well, I'll be looking for that. We'll see. So just in terms of, I like to wrap things up and just give the audience, I always like having a minute with folks like you, because you're so in depth in what you do. and you really know the industry and the fitness side and the ops side of running a business. If there's some folks thinking about getting into this business, wanting to be a part of it, and I know there's probably a lot of questions, right? I mean, clearly affordability. Let's take affordability out of it. They can afford it. They know they can. What advice do you give someone that's thinking about starting a business like this? Because there are different elements that make the right person, that would attract the right person. We talked about community. We talked about the member, really caring about your members. Like, what do you look for? And what advice would you have for someone who's considering a business like yours?
I would say the number one thing is embrace a growth mentality. Be willing to continuously learn, be ready to adapt, basically be a sponge. So the fitness industry, like we said earlier, it's constantly changing. There's new trends, there's new technologies, there's new research emerging like all the time. I personally spend the first 20 minutes, 30 minutes of my day reading all of the industry publications that come out saying who's coming out with what, who's partnering with who's collabing on what. So stay informed with the latest developments, be open to new ideas, be willing to adapt your approach and explore new technology, explore new workout methodologies. And that willingness to grow and learn is what's really going to set you apart. I would also say focus on, building and maintaining really strong relationships. So the fitness industry is as much a people business as it is a fitness business.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking, right?
Yeah.
Like almost, yeah, you like get in, you're like, all you want to think about is fitness, but it's kind of like a lot of models where you're dealing with people. And there's a lot of people in the fitness world. So like, yeah, like tell me more about that. What are the skills that are needed to kind of build that kind of team?
Yeah, I mean, you have to have strong relationships, not only with your clients and your members, but also with your colleagues and your industry peers. So, like, be available to listen to like what the consumer and the members are telling you. Be ready to understand what their goals are. Be ready to provide personalized support. Like for World Gym, I can speak to us. We really try to have a genuine, authentic connection with our members. That's how you create like the most loyal members who stay with you for long term. That's how you retain members. So networking within the industry is vital, but just maintaining those strong relationships, keeping your professional network open to new opportunities and collaborations is going to be really important.
Yeah, I would say if you're a World Gym owner in a community, you're in that. Yeah, that's a staple in there, And I feel like if you're going to take on that role as the owner, then yeah, you want to be the guy that also can interact with other businesses. And do you just real quick, how do you guys look at the environment? Like I haven't been in a World Gym in a while. I would think that's important too, right? Like the environment that's created for the member. I know you do some virtual stuff, but I wanted to talk about that just briefly. I know that's also something that a lot of brands think about too. How do you guys approach that? The environment of when people come in.
Yes. So you're using environment. The word that we use and are so passionate about is that we want our gyms to have a soul. We want
Wow.
people to walk in. Yeah. We want people to walk in and immediately be able to feel what we're about. So that kind of goes back to my statement earlier. Like you can't be all things to all people. Like we don't want to be a place where you just have access to gym equipment. Like anybody can be that. That's sometimes too generic. You don't have any relationship with that. So we are very passionate that we want our gyms to have a soul. And we want that to be apparent from the moment somebody walks in. And that's done through obviously the design of our gyms, but also our staff and how we train them. I mean, it really has to be layered into all of your operations and how you run your business in order to really get that right. But that's really important to us.
Wow. Yeah, you answered that really good. I think that's a great thing to aspire to do. And you're right. I think that's the right word, right? Like you start with the end in mind. If you get that right, then you can reverse engineer all the details that create that. But man, that's awesome. I thought that was a great answer. You're the most soulful franchise I've interviewed so far. I'll give you that.
Great.
I don't know. Is that a compliment? Maybe it will be.
I think
Eventually.
so. Thank you.
I think it is. I think it is. And yeah, it'll be a thing that everybody's shooting for soon enough, right? It'll be the term people are throwing around. But anyway, I appreciate that. Yeah, I think that's super important. And I think as a business, that's the other side of it. Is like when you're saying, okay, what makes a business owner a business owner? It's as much about that community and the people and the environment you're creating, or the soulfulness of your place. And so there's more to it than just saying, oh, I love the idea of fitness, or I vote or whatever. That might not necessarily mean you're the best owner. Anyway, I just thought that was important to kind of key in on. If people are interested in learning more, what would be the best path? How do they find out more? And what's your website? And what else can you share?
Yeah, you can always visit our website. It's just worldgym.com. You can find the closest location near you. There's also a link to our franchising site on our website. So if you're interested in franchising opportunities, you can find all the information there. We have a great team. We have a team that has so much tenure in the fitness industry. There's like hundreds of years if you add us all up.
Oh, yeah.
So
I love that. Yeah.
yeah.
197 years total experience. That's
Exactly. So, even if it's something that, you're just kind of thinking about, it'd be great to get somebody on a phone call to kind of talk to you a little bit more about what World Gym is, what it's going to be like to be a World Gym franchise owner. So yeah.
awesome. Well, I always stress at the end, that is a huge offer. Like, just to sit down and have some time with your team is always beneficial. If you're thinking about business, the franchise industry is very giving that way. A lot of smart people willing to get on the phone with people and talk to them about the path that might lead them to that success. So I always encourage people to reach out. It's always a good use of your time to be able to make that connection. So thanks so much, Tiffany, for making that offer and also being on the show today. I appreciate that.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a great time.
And we're definitely going to talk again, because I have a feeling the changes and innovations we just talked about are going to come fast and furious. And for folks like you, you're all over it. You're like, sure, bring it if it makes sense, right? If it's going to help, like, stay in the eye of our focus, right? Does it add soul? Does the robot add soul to the gym? I think that's the answer, right? Like, if so, we're going to have to get a robot, right?
We can do like a robot DJ. How about that?
Exactly. Yeah, that'll motivate. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Very cool. Well, listen, it's been great having you. I'm definitely looking forward to follow-ups. And it's been great having you talk about World Gym. What an awesome brand. And thanks to the listeners. And bye for now.